Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Digital IDs are, as we know, a terrible idea and they must be resisted. I'm not going to stop banging that drum, but it's got so bad now that even when questioned about it, the government can't answer the questions. They don't know how much it's going to cost, either as a scheme in whole or how much individuals would have to pay to get them. In fact, the government have got no details at all of the time frame for introduction, what sort of data will be held. They were asked where will it be held? Will it be held centrally? They've been asked about the security of the database. They've been asked about the ability of people to access it, etc., etc., etc. And they've got no answers whatsoever. Starmer thinks he's going to get these out by the end of next year. Not a chance in hell. This is like anything else with the government. They're going to have to create this big database, and that's going to take years. And they don't know how much any of this is going to cost. It's all bollocks. And of course, Reform said the moment they come in, it's dead in the water anyway. This is Tony Blair's great idea, of course. Tony Blair wanted this. He didn't have the technology or the availability. They looked at it and he realised that, worst of all, apart from the technology and the availability, didn't have the political will. Starmer does not have the political will, but he knows he needs to do it because he's had his orders from the WEF. Davos man would rather destroy Britain than help it. But of course, he's anti-British. He's an agent of the Chinese state. He obeys the WEF. He's anything other than his own man. He's never someone who's worked for Britain. Even in his career as a human rights lawyer, all he did was cherry pick every case he could get that would damage Britain. Every single one. There's a thing called the cab rank rule where barristers have to take the next case that's given to them. And so sometimes they will end up with a case they don't particularly want. But Starmer, he went after every single anti-British case he could get. And this, of course, is the upshot of where he is now. Digital IDs. He wants this totalitarian state with him as the... sees himself probably as the emperor, doesn't he? Yeah, he'll rule for the remainder of his life. Then he's... Oh, disgusting man. Anyway, he'll probably lie in state. I hope he's in a state. But the Department of Science, who is being charged with coming up with all this bollocks, has got the brief on this. It has now managed to successfully pass the buck. It's now in the hands of the Cabinet Office. The Department of Science said, well, we don't have the availability to do it. It's not our baby because we deal in other things. So they managed to get it over to the Cabinet Office. Even though the Digital ID's key campaigner, Kirsty Innes, was hired the other week to the Department of Science. But apparently they want to give it to Darren Jones to run. Apparently Darren Jones says he can make it work. I don't believe he can because it's complex and Darren Jones isn't bright. Now, they asked for costs, none coming. They asked for forecast costs, none coming. They asked for time frame, none coming. Darren Jones reckons he's going to get this out next year. They haven't even got a clue what it's going to consist of. They don't know what it's going to actually do. No decisions have been made on technical design, on delivery, on timeframes, on costs, on how secure anything is, on the mandatory nature of it. One of the problems they have is there's a lot of people within the Labour Party who don't want this either. Certainly the unions don't want this. And if the unions don't want it, it isn't going to happen. But Starmer can't be seen to back down. So what this is, he's constantly going to push it until he's removed. And then the people coming in said, oh, well, we're going to have a major change now. We're going to re-emphasise the things we need to work for. And it'll be quietly dropped. But to drop it, they've got to get rid of Starmer. May next year, he's gone, with any luck. if not before. If this whole China crisis blows up, he could be out sooner. But it's just not going to happen. But they don't even know. And when you don't know how much it's going to cost and what your time frames are, and you've only got 3.5 years left before reform take over, well, sayonara. Don't even bother working on it. Don't even bother to work. The last major database that the government worked on was the Making Tax Digital system that was announced by Gordon Brown in 1998. It didn't come into effect until about 2016, and even then, not fully. And indeed, it's still here in 2025, not 100% rolled out. Don't worry about it. Digital ID, my arse. Thanks very much.